Hey, gang. Bill Caskey here, live at 8 every day in March, every workday. We are going to go live. We have been going live, started last Monday. Had a snafu last Monday. Audio didn't work. I'm just checking to make sure it's working today. Also had a snafu. I mocked somebody. Somebody mocked me at Starbucks, but no problem today. Worked out, had a great workout at Planet Fitness. Almost said Planet Hollywood, Planet Fitness. And then I went to Starbucks and had a great drink. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. We would love it if you shared this with other people. And, LinkedIn doesn't make it easy for these live events since they're recorded in a different place. But I would love it if you shared anything that you thought about this. If you learned a lesson, we're on Facebook, the Facebook group. We're on YouTube Live and also LinkedIn. So today I want to talk a little bit about the truth. And this is an odd topic to devote 15 minutes to because it is deep and there's a lot of drama around the truth, it seems like, in our lives. And whenever somebody comes into one of our programs, I always deliver I don't have it in front of me here, but it's a Google Doc that is it's a Google Doc that really forces people to think through what is their truth, what is happening in their world, financially, fitness-wise, relationship-wise. And the reason I ask these questions that you might say, well, these have nothing to do with sales training and sales coaching and building my business and getting new clients and generating more leads, have nothing to do with that. And I say it's got everything to do with it. Because when you come into any kind of a coaching program, whether it's me or anybody else, that person can't do their job if you're lying to yourself. And to that, you will say, well, how do I know I'm lying to myself? And I say, if you are breathing, you are probably lying to yourself. Not big fat lies where you're living a lie and you have 3 different families. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about there's 2 kinds of lies. There's the lie that we tell other people, those external things. We fib, we misconstrue. We lie. We lie to people. We do white lies. But the worst lie is the one we tell ourselves about where we are, about where we're going. And that's why I do this document early in the process with my clients is I want to know, I'm not trying to catch them in a lie. I'm trying to help them realize that there might be a truth that exists beyond where we're willing to tell ourselves. One example of that is fitness. Are we kidding ourselves about our fitness level? I think we all do. Now, maybe Jocko Willink, who works out every day for an hour and a half and fuels his energy with, the best greens and all. Okay, maybe he's a 10 on that scale. But most of us are not. And most of us kid ourselves or lie to ourselves, however you want to say it, about our fitness. Most of us lie to ourselves about our relationships. I mean, how many times, if you ask a marriage counselor, when people come in to see you, where are they in their marriage? He would probably tell you, or the counselor would probably tell you, not, oh, everything's going right, everything's going great. That's why they came in to see me, because they want to keep it that way. That would be the time to go see a marriage counselor. But when do we go see a marriage counselor? Typically, when things are falling apart. Why are they falling apart? Because one party has lied to themselves, or maybe they both have lied to themselves. Another way you're lying to yourself or not telling yourself the truth, is if you have this hunch, you have these times, and I have this. And by the way, the stuff I'm talking about is things that affect me too. I'm actually in a program right now where I've got to keep my mind clear and I've got to keep my soul right because I'm counseling and coaching people. And if I'm not true to myself, if I'm not true to myself, what kind of advice can I give? Not very good advice. So, So part of me being a good coach that I think I am and want to continue to improve is I've got to be right. I've got to be right on the inside. And that's why I'm taking this program. It's a 60-day program that helps you be a better coach, helps you be a better counselor and advisor to people. I owe it to my clients. My clients pay me a lot of money to either, whether it's a public group they come into or whether it's a private group, a corporate group. I deserve that money, but I only deserve that money if I'm clear of mind and clear of heart. And so it's on my mind right now that when I take on a client, I want to know how much lying to themselves is going on. There's always some. It's not anything to be ashamed of. It's just something to reconcile and be understanding of. Okay. Hello, all. Greg Walters on. Good job. You can comment here. I can't promise that all these comments come through because we're on 3 different platforms, and I think StreamYard only does maybe one platform. So glad you're here, Greg, and everybody else. So I once again, I appreciate you sharing this. So I had a client, a prospect yesterday who called me and we had a real nice conversation, and he was interested in my high achiever mentoring program. And it's a group cohort where you're in a room with, 12 to 15 other people, and there's one-to-one coaching with it. And I'm always interested in when people come into a program like this is what's going on in their lives that cause them to want to be a part of this. And by the way, this is a question that every sales professional should be asking the prospect early. What is it that caused you to invite me in, or what prompted the call, or what prompted the website visit, or what prompted you to download the survey or take the survey or take my call? I always want to know what's the state of mind that caused this interest in what it is you do. And you can find different ways to frame that, but I always ask that question. And here's what the person yesterday said, and this is how I know he's not a liar. He's not lying to me. As he said, I want to get to the next level of income. I'm in a very good position. I'm pretty good at what I do. I'm not going anywhere. I love my company, but I don't know what's happening and how to get to that next level. I don't know if it's a how-to thing, if it's a skill thing, if it's a mental attitude thing, if it's a soulful thing. I don't know what it is. Now that's telling the truth. It would be different if he said, if he blathered on about, well, I want to get to the next level. I know exactly how to do it. I just need a little help getting there. I don't believe that, because I believe that if you knew how to get there, you'd be there already. So to me, part of this understanding of self is getting honest with self. And in this program I'm in, the moderator talks about how if we want to get to this big vision, this next level of whatever that is for you, maybe it's running your own business, maybe it's buying a business, maybe it's tripling your income. I don't know what it is. I hope you have some kind of vision, but it's hard to set if you aren't truthful about where you are. And he uses the example, and I've used it before. If you want to get from point A to point B in your business life, in your sales career, you have to kind of know where point A is. What's current reality? And if you're not willing to be honest and truthful about that current reality, it becomes hard to chart a course to point B because you never really are clear about where you're starting. And I think that's something for all of us to keep in mind is we have an A today, we have a B tomorrow. We want to get to B. You might even hire somebody like me or somebody else, or you might take a course on how to get to the destination. But if you're not honest with yourself about your starting point, it becomes very hard to create the path to get there, because the path you create won't be built on anything of foundation. I had a client who has undergone, we'll say this, he's undergone some traumas in his business over the past few years. 90% of the traumas he's undergone have been self-created. These aren't government creations. These aren't competitive creations. He's done this himself through the decisions he's made. And he's made some terrible decisions. And he has not taken personal accountability for them. He's lying to himself. And I finally had to let him go late last year as a client, and he had become a friend, and I haven't spoken to him yet. But until a person is ready to, I've spoken to him since, not yet. Until a person is really ready to level with somebody else and themselves about what's real and the cause of what's real, it becomes really hard to help. And I hate that. I hate losing a client over those things. But at some point, you have to let go, because if that person's not ready to be honest, then nothing good's going to happen. It's going to continue to go down the same path. And you hear this all the time in your life, and you see it in your life, where you'll watch a friend, a family, a business dissipate, go away, just kind of get annihilated, just disappear. You've seen people commit the worst act, suicide, or they drink and drug themselves to death. And why is that? And trust me, somebody in my 20s, that almost happened to me. Death was right around the corner for me. And it wasn't until I got totally honest with myself and said, I have a problem, I recognize it, and I'm willing to do something about it. Until you do that, it becomes hard to fix, because you might not even think that you have a fix for it if it's somebody else's problem. Oh, it's my wife. Oh, it's my in-laws. Oh, it's my business. Oh, it's my manager. It's never them. It's always us. Doesn't mean that they don't play a part in it. Your circumstances don't play a part in it, but it's always us. So here's my quick advice today is, if something in your life, in your business life, let's just say, is not working, not generating enough leads, not controlling the sales process, be brutally honest with yourself and ask yourself the question, how am I contributing to this? Not blaming, just understanding the contribution that you make. So if the sales process is out of whack and you're not closing nearly a high enough, at a percentage high enough that you want, then you have to ask yourself the question, how am I contributing to this? Not, oh, my people today, they just lie to you and they ghost you, and they're evil. No, people today have been the way they always have been. Maybe there's a little bit of edginess because of COVID and whatever, but you've got to ask yourself, how are you contributing to that? And once you do, and this goes for any part of your life, but I'm talking about business here. Once you do, amazing things happen, because the solution becomes apparent. Maybe you feel alone. Maybe one of the things that's not going right in your life is it's a lonely existence. You might have a family and you might have a work team, but there's loneliness there. You don't have anybody that you can really confide in and speak to, maybe no pastor or coach or psychologist or somebody like that. But be honest about that, because then you can find a way to solve. All right. If you have not already downloaded this, 5 Reasons You Don't Have Enough Clients, it's chock full of 5 things. Your methods aren't right. Your mindset's not right. Your message is not right. And a little bit about how to fix it. Also, some really good stories in there about some clients who have fixed these problems and now they have resolved that. So if you want to get that, go to 5reasonsclients.com, the number 5reasonsclients.com. We're releasing a new podcast today, Bill Caskey podcast. Actually, I think it's going to be a replay of one of these lives. So if you've watched all the lives, it'll probably be a repeat. If you haven't, you might want to listen. And I will see you tomorrow morning.